So infections, leaks, fistulas, sepsis, dehiscence, redos. These are things that keep surgeons up at night. Nurami Medical is here to finally modernize tissue repair to eliminate those complications and eliminate those sleepless nights. I'm Peter Stebbins. I'm thrilled to present on behalf of the Nurami board. And I'm just going to start with a summary for you investors of why this is such a great company based on my experience at J&J, looking at hundreds of companies from an M&A perspective and with JJDC from an investor's perspective. It's a big market, and it's still a surgeon decision market. It is a technology which is very much differentiable from others, and also, as you'll see, is very superior to others. The third is the team. The brilliant team actually has the IP and the brain power to develop not just the first product, but go on and to build a real platform for a long time. The other thing I'd say is they're not trying to swim upstream, right? It's not going to be a situation where they need a new CPT code. They don't need a new business plan, new sales force. It is in right in a sweet spot. And the surgeons, their life's going to be easier. And finally, the economics work well for everybody. It's fully reimbursed, it's less expensive and faster time, and the manufacturing cost is low. And then finally, from the perspective, a lot of discussion this week about the fourth and fifth T of timing and terms. The business has made a lot of progress. They made it all the way through to make really the first big breakthrough in this area in 20 years, all the way through essentially U.S. approval and a randomized patient study with 90 patients on about $10 million of equity. So they made a lot of progress. And this team, again, I want to just talk about the team a little bit. Nora and Amir, they had met when they were working on a hemostasis project. And they started Nurami when they talked to a neurosurgeon who said, I don't really have hemostasis problems. I worry about leaks. So let's talk about leaks. Leaks are, if there's failures, it could be a really big issue. And two places in the body, they're precious liquids that can cause problems. One is CSF, and the other is pancreatic juices. And by targeting those areas, Nurami is able to go after the initial area is going to be about $1 billion market. And then overall, from their portfolio of tissue engineering expertise and throughout the body, it's probably more of an $8 or $10 billion TAM. So what do surgeons want? So surgeons, they want something that's easy to use. They don't want to make it hard. They want to make their job easier. They want to have good tissue ingrowth. They want the patients to do better in the short term and the long term. And they want to deal with leaks. Leaks, especially the leaks like that you get with a suture line, where every time the needle is always bigger than the suture, so there's always a chance of a leak. So what is Nurami doing in this space? Really, so Nurami is bringing from the Technion some cutting-edge tissue engineering technology and brain power. And I put it in two buckets. One is on the novel adhesives and sealant formulations, and the other is on the nanofiber. It's actually kind of interesting how underpenetrated nanofibers are in the medical device space. I think there's a lot of benefit from going on there. And the magic that Nurami brings to it, besides having two great products, is how they combine them together, as you can see in our product pipeline. The first product is a self-sealing dural substitute called ArtiFascia. The second is ArtiFix, which is again self-sealing but adds an adhesive layer to allow for easier attachment, and especially interesting in areas like the spine where you really don't want to be suturing. And the NovaFibrex, which has been developed to handle whatever the pancreas has can send our way. And so let's talk about the first area. So dura mater means tough mother. So the dura mater, working with the CSF, protects your brain. You have trauma or surgery, you need to replace that. And how that's been replaced in the past is basically an allograft. Basically, a surgeon will have to take a bit out of the leg and place it there. And then the first wave of commercial products coming into the space was in collagen and synthetic grafts, and they had some advantages and disadvantages, and some leading surgeons still do autografts. But then they had one of the issues of those grafts is they still had leakage problems because they were very porous. So liquid sealants came in, spray sealants on top of that. And so what Nurami is looking to do is say, let's take the best of the learnings from that and come up with a portfolio of products that address that. And so the first product is ArtiFascia. And what they've done here is combining essentially this really nice matrix of nanofibers with a sealant. I like to think about it as a jam sandwich. So basically you have two thin slices of nanofibers that look just like dura, so it grows into it. And then the jam is this gel-like sealant that is in every single patient. So the benefit of every patient getting a sealant, and then also it activates like a gasket around those suture holes. So one of the biggest areas of leaks and perception of leaks is around those needle holes, and that is automatically dealt with by this product. And the company is, as you can see, it looks like the native structure, and you see in histology, it does quite well and much more rapidly than the standard of care. It has a good ingrowth, and based on that, we were able to do a 90-patient study, which was randomized 2-to-1, very quickly enrolled. They did it during COVID and very successfully did that. And also got very good feedback from the surgeons. Here's an example of one of the surgeons like, hey, once it's available, we'll go. And again, having been in business for a long time, it's important for surgeons to feel like, oh, it's going to be better for my patient, but also this is something that's going to make my life just better, and I want to go to it. I'll give you a quick sneak peek at the studies. We're still in the middle of putting together our FDA filing for the 510K. The study was a non-inferiority trial, but we're still very excited about it. As you can see, there was more issues on the control side than the ArtiFascia, and I would note that the two things which were the primary endpoints for this trial was CSF fistula and pseudomeningocele. And the other thing I'd note on this is the fact that statistically, the doctors really liked the product compared to using these bovine collagen sponges, which are about 6 times as thick, and then you have to wet them, and they're really hard to handle, and you suture in them, it becomes a mess. So happy about that. Bottom line, it's a better product for the surgeons, better for the hospital, and better for the patients. But as we learned this week, and we always know, being better doesn't mean you can get it sold, can't get it approved. So market access is important. We feel really good about what's going on here. We've got ArtiFascia, which is pretty far down the path. We have the next 2 products will both be PMAs, but both breakthrough devices because there really is nothing else for that space. And it's reimbursed, heartily reimbursed. So we have a lot of pricing flexibility and a good GP. So when you think about coming into this market with a platform of products with high GP in the biosurgery space, recognize there are a lot of players in this space, and they like biosurgery because it allows them to, again, sell to surgeons. They get to choose things. These are things where it's one of the rare things where they actually get to choose, like, hey, I want that particular product. And as you can see here, they have a number of good exits in this space. So, we feel really happy about all the progress that the team has made. On the left-hand side, you'll see they've done an awful lot on very capital efficient raise, about 10 million of equity and some funding from the Israeli government, and we'll be able to start commercializing next year. And at the same time, we're looking now to start a fundraise. So we're looking for about $15 million. Irit, who I think was here before from Ameda, was our primary lead investor in the Series A. And we're excited about taking that and really taking the next step because we're going to be out in the market working at Johns Hopkins, Brigham and Women's, and Northwell's already kind of lined up for sites in the U.S. to go. And we'll be able to ramp up from there and then also move along in the rest of our pipeline. We have a pre-IDE meeting with the FDA on our ArtiFix product next week or 2 weeks from now. And if you want to come along a journey, we'd love to have you. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it's really going to be a great opportunity to invest with us and to help patients for a long time. Thank you.